Where did Gautam Buddha deliver his first sermon, an event known as Dharma Chakra Pravartana? Sarnath. The death of Gautam Buddha is known by which term? Mahaparinirvana. The sacred scriptures of Buddhism, the Tripitakas, were written in which language? Pali. The fourth Buddhist council, where Buddhism split into Hinayana and Mahayana, was patronized by which ruler? Kanishka. Who was the 23rd Tirthankara of Jainism? Parshvanath. The Triratna, or three jewels of Jainism are right faith, right knowledge, and what else? Right conduct. The Jain sect that wears white clothes is known as Shvetambara. Who founded the Vaisheshika school of philosophy, which first proposed the atomic theory? Kanada. The philosophy of Advaita, non-dualism, was propounded by which great philosopher? Adi Shankaracharya. Where is the colossal statue of Gomateshwara, Bahubali, son of the first Tirthankara Rishabhadev, located? Shravanabelagola. Which of the following Stone Age periods is characterized by the use of microliths, or small, sharp stone tools? Mesolithic Age. The first evidence of animal domestication in the Indian subcontinent was found at which Mesolithic site in Rajasthan? Bagor. Which prehistoric site in Madhya Pradesh is famous for its rock shelter cave paintings? Bhimbetka. Which Neolithic site in Jammu and Kashmir is known for its pit dwellings and evidence of burying humans with dogs? Burzahom. Tools made of bone, bonus, were a prominent discovery at the Neolithic sites of Chirand in Bihar and which other site in Jammu and Kashmir? Gufkral. The first evidence of rice cultivation in the Indian subcontinent comes from which Neolithic site in Uttar Pradesh? Koldia. What was the first metal to be discovered and used by humans, marking the beginning of the Chalcolithic age? Copper. The Jorv culture, known for sites like Daimabad, is a Chalcolithic culture primarily associated with which modern-day state? Maharashtra. Who was the chairman of the Archaeological Survey of India, ASI, at the time of the discovery of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro? John Marshall. The Harappan site was discovered in 1921 by Dayaram Sahni on the banks of which river? Ravi. The famous Great Bath and the Bronze Dancing Girl are two of the most significant discoveries from which IVC site? Mohenjo-Daro. The figure of a bearded man found at Mohenjo-Daro, often interpreted as a priest king, was carved out of what material? Steatite. The lost wax technique was famously used by the Harappans to create which of the following artifacts? Bronze sculptures. Which IVC site in Gujarat is renowned for being an ancient man-made port or dockyard? Lothal. Which Harappan site is unique for not having a fortified citadel, unlike most other major IVC cities? Chanhodaro. The Harappan civilization is also known as the first civilization to produce which agricultural commodity? Cotton. What metal was conspicuously unknown to the people of the Indus Valley civilization? Iron. The Harappan writing style, which alternates direction, right to left, then left to right, is known as Boustrophedon. The Gayatri mantra, a highly revered mantra from the Rigveda, is found in which mandala? Third mandala. The Purusha Sukta, which describes the origin of the four Varnas, is part of which mandala of the Rigveda? 10th mandala. The famous Dasharajan War or Battle of 10 Kings is mentioned in which mandala of the Rigveda? 7th mandala. Which of the four Vedas is known as the Book of Music and contains melodies and chants? Samaveda. The Atharva Veda is primarily a collection of magical charms and spells. The famous quote, Satyumev Jayate, truth alone triumphs, is taken from which ancient text? Mundaka Upanishad. How many Vedangas, limbs of the Vedas, are there in total? 6. During the early Vedic period, what was the term for a war fought for the sake of cows? Gavishti. Which type of pottery is most closely associated with the later Vedic period? Painted grey ware, PGW. Which Buddhist text provides a list of the 16 Mahajanapadas, great kingdoms? Anguttara Nikaya. What was the capital of the Anga Mahajanapada, the easternmost of the kingdoms? Champa. Which ruler of the Haryankar dynasty first shifted the capital of Magadha from Rajagriha to Pataliputra? Udayan. Who was the founder of the Nanda dynasty, the first non-Kshatriya dynasty of Magadha? Mahapadma Nanda. Alexander of Macedon invaded India in 326 BC during the reign of which Nanda ruler? Dhanananda. The Battle of Hydaspes was fought between Alexander the Great and which Indian king? Porus. Who was the founder of the Mauryan Empire, who defeated the last Nanda ruler with the help of Kautilya? Chandragupta Maurya. The treatise on statecraft, economic policy, and military strategy, Arthashastra, is attributed to whom? Kautilya, Chanakya. The Greek ambassador Megasthenes, who wrote Indica, was sent to the Mauryan court by which ruler? Seleucus Nicator. The historic Kalinga War, which proved to be a turning point in Ashoka's life, was fought in which year? 261 BC. Ashoka's policy of conquest through dharma instead of war, adopted after the Kalinga War, is known as Dhammaghosha. Who was the first scholar to decipher the Brahmi script of Ashoka's inscriptions in 1837? James Prinsep. The name, Ashoka, is explicitly mentioned along with his title, Devanampya Piyadasi, in which of the following minor rock edicts? Musky Edict. In the Mauryan administration, who was the Samahata? Collector General of Revenue. During the Mauryan period, what was the term for a civil court? Dharmasthala. Who was the founder of the Shunga dynasty, who assassinated the last Mauryan emperor, Brihadrata? Pushyamitra Shunga. Kalidasa's play, Malavikagnamitram, is based on the love story of Malavika and which Shunga king? Agnimitra. Which dynasty, ruling in the Deccan, was the first in India to issue coins made of lead? Satavahanas. Who was the greatest ruler of the Satavahana dynasty? Gautamiputra Satakarni. Which Indo-Greek ruler is the central character in the Buddhist text, Milinda Panha? Meninda. The military governorship system known as the Kshatrapa system was introduced in India by which group? Sakas. Which ruler started the Saka era in 78 AD, which is used by the government of India? Kanishka. The purest form of gold coins in ancient India were issued by which dynasty? Kushans. Who is considered the real founder of the Gupta Empire and was the first to assume the title Maharaja Dhiraja? Chandragupta I. Who is known as the Napoleon of India due to his extensive military campaigns? Samudragupta. The Allahabad Pillar inscription, or Prayag Prashasti, which details Samudragupta's conquests, was composed by his court poet. Harisana. Which Gupta emperor adopted the title Vikramaditya and had the Navratnas, 9 jewels, in his court? Chandragupta II. The famous Chinese Buddhist monk Fa Hien visited India during the reign of which Gupta ruler? Chandragupta II. The ancient Nalanda University, a great center of learning, was founded by which Gupta emperor? Kumaragupta I. Which of the following literary works was not written by Kalidasa, one of the Navratnas of Chandragupta II? Mrichhakatika. What was Visti during the Gupta period? A form of forced labor. The Bhitargaon temple, one of the oldest surviving brick temples in India, was built during which period? Gupta period. The Chinese traveler Haiyan Shanzang visited India during the reign of which powerful ruler of Kannauj? Harshavardhana. Who was the author of Harshacharita, the biography of Emperor Harshavardhana? Banabhatta. The famous tripartite struggle for control over the city of Kannauj was fought between the Gurjara Pratiharas, the Palas, and which other dynasty? Rashtrakutas. Which Chalukyan king defeated Harshavardhana on the banks of the river Narmada? Pulakeshin II. The Aihole inscription, detailing the exploits of Pulakeshin II, was composed by his court poet. Ravi Kirti. Which Pallava king defeated Pulakeshin II and assumed the title of Vatapikonda, conqueror of Vatapi? Narasimhavarman I. Who was the founder of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, who overthrew the Chalukyas of Badami? Danti Durga. The magnificent rock-cut monolithic Kailasa temple at Ellora was built by which Rashtrakuta ruler? Krishna I. Who founded the imperial Chola dynasty by capturing the Kaveri delta from the Muttarayas? Vijayalaya. The great Brihadeshwara temple at Tanjore was built by which Chola emperor? Rajaraja I. In Chola administration, what was Veti? A type of forced labor.
Subscribe now.